Hi, my name is Shamante, and this is my Canvas walkthrough second time for Cellular Telephony 101. At this particular time, I have not produced the introductory video that needed to be created at the beginning. I'll be working on that to make sure that that's included here by the end of the week when this particular project should be basically just about finished. So going back over some of the progress that I actually have made, with my latest instructional module, as far as where that's going to fit, it's going to actually go under a module by itself. After the covered topics in which I chose here, I did go ahead and revamp some of those topics as well because I didn't want to get too far off topic, even though I wanted to do a history lesson on cellular, but I also want to make sure that I'm touching on some of the things that are going to come up in the Captivate module for the project. So it's actually going to go here as a separate module, as the Captivate project itself is going to be included. So it's going to be one of the final steps that the learner is actually going to complete within the LMS. And then as far as the asynchronous and synchronous communication, one of the ways to create the synchronous aspect is that the student will have to answer discussions. So I'll go ahead and click on that so I can show you. I've actually created some topics. Those are going to be edited a little bit based on the change of the actual modules themselves to be able to make sure that they do tie in with the names of that. It's going to be very important with the change in my module topics here because I want to make sure that I talk about, again, that history, but I also wanted to touch in on cellular and wireless services so that the seasoned and or veteran learner would be able to kind of pick this up and then get an introduction or reintroduction to that hobby acronym that's going to be driving my Captivate module. So I want to make sure that I can incorporate that under the wireless and cellular services, and then the industry plans and services is kind of going over some of the things as well that are incorporated within the Captivate module. So again, the discussion questions are going to be synchronous, but then I also am going to have a collaboration section. Now you can have individual people where I can collaborate with, or you can create groups in which they can collaborate with each other in order to create projects or assignments outside of the course in which they can go ahead and upload them to my Google Docs account, which I had to go ahead and attach to this particular module. So they're going to be able to do that. So at this particular time, nobody's listed. This is where you can see you can set the group or add people into the actual LMS themselves. So when you do the group set, you can go ahead and break your groups down, and then you'll be able to go ahead and view those user groups so you can see exactly who's in them. Now I was able to go ahead and also begin compiling a quiz. This is actually the assignment and quiz for the very first module, which is who invented the cell phone. As you can see, the quiz is actually a part of the module so that they know that that's going to be an ending for when they actually begin that. So I've been in and out of this a couple of times, so it's going to say resume quiz because, as you can see over here, it's actually timing the user until they actually finish it. So it's kind of a nice thing. If you wanted to make a time quiz, I can do that. If I don't, of course, I can go ahead in my settings and alleviate that particular aspect. As far as any additional resources, I have a page here that's tabbed called Pages, and it's not highlighted because that's not something the student is actually going to see. But if I go to View All Pages, this is where I've actually included a page for my additional resources. And then, as you can see here, how that got added was some of the additional resources. I'm going to go to Settings, is actually an application. The ones that I've chosen to install at this particular time are the badges, which are called Canva badges, TED Talks, and I decided to do the YouTube for Schools, but I think I'm going to alleviate that one and add something else in its place. But the TED Talks was nice because it's going to be able to go out to the web so that I can include search content that I'm going to actually add in. So if I go back to Pages, I'm actually going to be able to click this particular video, hit play, and it's actually going to come up and it's being driven. So that's a great little asset where the student doesn't even have to get out of the LMS in order to view that video unless they absolutely want to. So at this particular time, I actually haven't also finished any of the outcomes for the LMS. I'm going to go ahead and finish constructing those, but all of those should be in place along with that introductory video by the end of the week when the closing of this module has, and that's exactly what I finished at this time.